Okay, we should be okay. I think we can see it. Perfect. All right. Let's get started. Today's stretch will be a little bit less yoga-like because, as you probably saw on the schedule, there is now a actual yoga class, I think Mondays today in lunchtime. So this will be a little bit more just stretching and less yoga-esque because there's that on the schedule. So we're going to start with our legs in a gentle butterfly. You don't need to have them, right up close. You can have them out, plenty of space. And we're just going to round our belly in as if someone punched us, and then sit up nice and straight. One more time. Sit up nice and tall. And then take one arm out, lift it to the ceiling, and stretch over to one side. Bring it back up. Other way. Stretch it on over. It's good to wake up that body. Come on up. Someone else is in the waiting room, so hold on 1 second. I just need to let them in. Sorry about that. Okay, okay. So we just did a little stretching there. We're going to come to all fours. Make sure that your hips and your knees are in alignment and your shoulders and wrists are in alignment. Elbows don't need to be locked. They can have a little bit of bend in them. First, let's just rotate the arms. So normally, right, the crease of your elbows are probably facing each other. I'm just rotating them so that they're facing front. So my biceps are not facing front. It's just a different feeling from maybe what you normally get when you're in this position. And now let's gently find ourselves arching and rounding and just feeling the contrast, the difference, and a little bit of movement. And you can do these at your own pace, whatever feels good for you this morning as you stretch. And let's come back to neutral. And we're just going to drop ourselves down with our hands in front for a child's pose. Keep those hands nice and long and stretched and feel the elongation. Let's roll on up. We're going to come back to being seated. We're going to take one leg out, and the other leg will have the sole of the foot touching the thigh, foot nice and flexed. Send those arms high up in the air, sitting up nice and straight, and then bend with a flat back, so we're bending not from our shoulders, but bending from our hips forward until you start to feel those hamstrings really engage and stretch. Once you get there, feel free to round over at that point and stretch. I'm always endlessly fascinated. I usually haven't taught morning classes until this quarantine, because like for live classes. So I'm always fascinated how stiff my body can feel this time in the morning. Like my earliest class used to be 10, like in the before times. So it's interesting just to even observe where your body is and how it feels in different points of the day. Just kind of noticing. Come on up. Let's take the other leg out in front of us. Sole of the foot on the thigh. Foot nice and flexed. Again, sitting up nice and tall. Arms up to the sky. Send yourself forward from the hips until you feel the hamstrings starting to stretch. Whenever that point is, let yourself just fold down and grab onto your ankle or your thigh. And keep that foot flexed, as that will intensify the stretch. Sit on up. We're going to take the other leg out now. And we're just going to cross the other foot over it. And we are going to take a twist. So basically, you're going to take one hand behind you and twist away from the front. I'm grabbing my knee a little bit. Just a little bit. Send yourself back to the center. Let's switcheroo. So same thing here. Taking one hand back, sitting up nice and tall and twisting. So you can either hold that knee, or if you want to put your arm there as well, depending on where it feels comfortable, that is fine. And send yourself back to the center. We're gonna do a little bit of stretching on our backs now. So we're gonna roll down. And first, I'd like for you to just take your arms and legs out, making yourself nice and long and feeling that stretch in the body. If you want, you can lengthen one arm and then the other, or one foot and then the other, but just feel the length of your body and what it can really achieve when you're thinking about lengthening everything. Let's take those hands down into a goalpost. So we're just going to do a little stretch on the rotator cuff muscles. So find your goalpost, your little football goalposts, and then just let the hands fall back while still keeping that same angle in your elbow. So you're not like moving them or straightening them, you're just sort of sending the goalpost to be a on the ground or close to it goalpost. Bring them back up to that regular football goalpost. And now we're going to do the same thing, keeping the same relationship, like this right angle in our arms, goalpost style. And we're just going to lower them towards the front. They may not go as far in the front, but we're just going to let them hang and feel a gentle stretch in our rotator cuff muscles here. Okay. So take those arms now, just shake them out, take them down. And we are going to do some stretching on our legs. So take your knee in a bent fashion towards your chest. Gently lift it up. If you feel like that you need something to hold on to, if you can't grab your leg or hold it up, you can always grab, if you have like a yoga strap, if you don't, you could literally just grab a towel and like put the towel on your leg and pull it towards you. You can grab onto the thigh or the upper leg, just don't grab onto the knee joint. Let's send that down. Roll the ankle while we're at it. And bring it down to meet the other leg. Let's take the other one, pull it towards your chest. And when you're ready, lift it up to the sky. Same thing here, holding onto the thigh or the calf, just not the knee joint. And if you need like a towel over the toe can help, that you can then hold if that is something that you have available to you, and it would help you to hold the stretch. Okay. Let's take that knee back down, clasp it with your hands, roll the ankle both directions. Just give it a little bit of good morning movement. And then send it on down. Take the arms out to a T, and then gently bring the legs up to a tabletop, taking care to press your belly in a bit so that you're not arching your lower lumbar spine. And then you're going to gently drop the knees over towards one side, your choice which side, we're doing both anyways, and then look away from those legs. And you'll feel that nice twist across your back. Gently use your core, get them back up to where we started. Hello to our tabletop again, and lower them towards the other side this time. And look away from those legs. Bring them back up to tabletop. We're just gonna straighten them and then send them out into a straddle the way we might do when sitting, but we're just doing it while on our backs. The nice thing about this is gravity is our friend because the stretch kind of naturally just happens with gravity. If you want, you can certainly hold your thighs a little bit to help push those legs down or just to feel a little more stable. But gravity is really doing a great job of opening and stretching here. Send those legs back up to the top. Lower them down. And just to kind of shake everything out, take a second and windshield wiper your legs. In the spirit of all of that rain we had in the past few days, that was like super weird and unpredictable. Awesome. We're gonna roll onto our stomachs. And you can use your hands as a pillow, as always. And we're just gonna send our legs up towards our glutes, up towards our butt, just with a little bit of a lift and a little bit of a baby pulse. This time we are going to catch it with our hand and get a nice stretch in our quad. Gently lower that leg back down. Send the other one up and catch it with the other hand. And we're gonna stretch on the other side. So we're really pulling that heel towards our butt and feeling the stretch along the whole quadricep. Send that on down. We're gonna now take our knees a little bit wider, so like mat-esque width. We're gonna lift the legs up, let our heels touch, spread our knees even a bit wider, and then while still holding the palms together, we'll let them drop. So you're stretching out. This is a frog, and you're stretching out like your inner thighs. So just let gravity bring you towards the ground. Take those feet down. Take your elbows so that they're roughly in line with your shoulders. And you're just gonna gently sit yourself up into a baby cobra stretch so that you are not in a huge stretch, just a little one. Take the shoulders down and back so that you're not up here. While I'm doing this, I am pressing my hip bones into the mat. So there is some activity happening down here. Gently lower down. And then push yourself with your arms into a child's pose. Round that back. So we find ourselves where we were before. All right, we're gonna take one of our hands, flip the palm over, and send it underneath. Stretch out our shoulder a little bit. Let's bring that arm back up to the top. Take the other hand down by the shoulder, flip so the palm is facing upward. Send it underneath you to stretch the other side. Excuse me. Send it on back where you started. Gently take the hands to an alternate position where they are now just by your sides. But same thing with yourself in this child. Gently grab the hands, clasp them together. This is a good reminder to take your shoulders down and back. They're probably very rounded. And then lift those hands to stretch. So lifting them towards the sky. Send them back down. Gently push yourself to seated. We're gonna come back to a butterfly pose. Now we're probably a little bit more bendy than we were when we were at the beginning. So we're gonna sit up nice and tall and hinge forward again, not rounding our shoulders right away, but hinging forward more from our hips. With the hands on the mat, or in my case, the ground, until you feel some stretch here. And once you do, then feel free to round it out. Hands can be on the floor / mat in front of you, or if you'd like to grab your ankles and then use your elbows to push those legs down, that is also an option that is possible if you prefer. Come on up. I just realized I wanted to do a stretch down here that we didn't do, so we're gonna come back down again. Because I don't want to do pigeon sitting up, because I feel like, you know, we've just been doing stretching and I don't know if there's enough heat, so I'd like to do it in a more gentle fashion. So we're just gonna take our ankle right on top of our knee and our thigh, grab the opposing thigh, and pull it towards us to stretch out our glutes. It's like a gentler version of our pigeon. Bring that leg down. Let's switch to the other side. So I'm putting the opposite ankle right above the knee. And I'm sending my hands under the other thigh to lift and stretch. Take those down. Let's gently rise into a bridge pose, and we're also going to stick our hands behind us as we do so. So feet about hip width apart. I'm going to press down into the heels to help me rise up. And we're just going to take our hands up and behind as we're in this bridge. Really pushing into and activating the glutes here. Gently lower vertebrae by vertebrae as you bring the hands back down to the ground. And let's do that one more time. Lift up by pressing through those heels, vertebrae by vertebrae, as you send those arms back. Really engaging those glutes. Send yourself down vertebrae by vertebrae again as you lower the arms as well. And then let's just take one last stretch. We're gonna open up our hips a lot with some Happy Baby. You can add a rock to it or keep it stationary. Take those legs down. Let's take half a second to just feel the mat support us. And roll onto your side. Push yourself up to seated. Take one last stretch up, nice and tall. Send it down. One more time. And thank you guys very much. Have a good Monday. There are lots of classes on the schedule, so feel free to take a look, come to any and all. And yeah, have a good start to your week.
Thank you.
No problem. Good to see you guys.
Thanks. Have a great